Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Post Up Podcast with me, Cyrus Rogers.
And me, Kaunda Chama, in the building.
He is in the building, he's in the flesh, he's here on The Voice. We are talking All-Star, the build-up to the All-Star game, and the All-Star weekend has been frenetic. There's been so much stuff happening in the NBA. In fact, there's trades, there's trade rumors, there's memes.
There's everything.
Pretty much everything. You know, what's been crazy about how the NBA has been is just, it's been like one of the best soapies that, you know, you just want to tune in next week. What's going to happen tomorrow?
Cyrus, sometimes you can live on social media platforms and just enjoy the NBA right now.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. But let's not go into the socials. Let's not go into the meme game. You know, this is the meme team. We're talking about All-Star. I think what we got to do, and I think maybe let's look at it in terms of the sort of whole weekend. I know last time out we did one where we actually we did a little bit of a draft of the starters, posing as LeBron and as Giannis. We'll do that with the entire thing towards the end of the show. But let's start with the Rising Stars Challenge, which is one of my favorite events at any All-Star weekend. It's great to see, you know, these young players coming together, and you've got it in the Team USA versus Team World format again. And man, there are some great African players to look out for.
Cyrus, first off, before we even get into this, let's state facts.
Yeah, facts.
Ever since they've got this new Team World versus Team US format, Team US is 1-3.
I mean, they're not doing it. They're not doing the business.
Before we look at the teams, let's just say
Team US got to pull up their socks.
They're gonna step up. They're gonna step up.
Yeah, they definitely have to. But I think, you know, when you look at it, and Team World has always had players who played well as a team.
Yes.
So you know you had some standout guys in Team World, but let's look at this current Team World and the players we're really looking forward to seeing. OG Anunoby, Nigerian, British. He's going to be fantastic. He's been playing well at the Raptors. You got DeAndre Ayton, who's Nigerian, Bahamian. You know, so Bahamian. So you know you've got another sort of African connection. The number one draft pick. I mean, this guy has been playing well.
He's been one of my favorite rookies, actually.
Yeah, me too. I've been loving watching him play.
Been playing very well.
Then Josh Okogie from the Timberwolves, Nigerian. He plays the Nigerian national team. This boy can play. He can straight ball.
He's a menace on both ends. I've been watching him like, he was just defending.
Just doing what he's doing.
Now he's scoring. What's wrong with this kid? No, what's right with him?
Exactly. But I think the trump card here, because we've looked at the African interest, and we're loving who's in this team. But really the trump card in this is Luka Doncic. You know, he's everybody's been talking about the fact that he should have been an All-Star. We'll talk about All-Star snubs later, but him in the Rising Stars Challenge is a great draw. I think that it will get the fans invigorated to see what's happening with the Rising Stars Challenge. You're looking forward to seeing Doncic, right?
Absolutely. I mean, he's been remarkable, Cyrus. There's a reason why he's a European champion and he's an MVP in Europe. Yeah. You've been seeing
it. Without a doubt.
Triple doubles.
Everything. He's got the whole bag.
And he's got great celebrations
defending.
as well.
Yeah, the celebrations. You know, in fact, he is a star. He is a star in the NBA. So the rest of the team of Team World, you got Bogdan Bogdanovic, you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Rodion Kuric.
Alexander.
Love that guy.
Has been fantastic at the Clippers.
Yeah, he has been. Rodion Kuric, who is at the Nets, Lauri Markkanen, Cedi Osman from the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was a bit of a surprise for me. And then Ben Simmons. I mean, woo! That's some good talent.
That's some good talent, and I think that's what makes me think Team US might just go 1-4 now.
It's possible. It's really possible. But when you look at Team US, let's look at who's on there. Jarrett Allen, you love Jarrett Allen. I'm a big fan of the Big Fro. Marvin Bagley III, he balled out recently against the Spurs. He's really just a fantastic rookie. Lonzo Ball, who you've got a lot of time for.
Absolutely.
I don't know me so much. John Collins, we met him when he was here for the Africa game. I love that kid. John Collins is really going to be the future of the Atlanta Hawks. De'Aaron Fox, who, you know, he's just so smooth.
Cyrus, De'Aaron Fox, I think that's the future of the Kings right there.
Yeah.
With Buddy Hill. And having Bagley III also coming in as that third option. I'm loving the way these kids are playing, and I think we're going to see a lot of it in the Rising Stars Challenge.
Definitely.
I mean, the guys out there to show you why they were drafted and why they're sophomores, so they're going to be in there.
And then Jaren Jackson Jr. He's been great at the Grizzlies. Kyle Kuzma, we are big fans of Kuz.
The Kuz, one of my favorite Lakers at the moment.
Well, could change. Then Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum. I mean, okay, do you think Team USA, when you look at it, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, these are guys who can play at the highest level.
Jared Allen too.
Yeah.
Look, Cyrus, it's a promising team, but it still needs to step its game up.
I don't know. I mean, look, they've got more sophomores there than rookies, as opposed to Team World, where they've got a couple of rookies in there who really have to step up. And I think that the matchups I'm looking forward to seeing is Marvin Bagley III versus DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic versus the rest of the US team. But then when you look at it, you've got good defense on Team World with OG Anunoby doing his thing. Josh Okogie defends well. And when you look at it from a personnel perspective, I think that the teams are evenly matched. It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a good game, and Team US has to be very careful that if they lose to a team which is mostly rookies, these rookies will be back again next year.
Mostly. They've got a lot of rookies, but they've got some sophomores too.
Absolutely.
Because, Lauri Markkanen, it's great to have him back, and I love to see him playing.
But if they lose to these guys, well, not to say that Team World isn't a powerhouse, but I think, okay, if you ask me,
I am asking you,
Team World for the win.
Okay, you left out one of the kings, Bogdan Bogdanovic. This Team World team has got a lot of really exciting players, and I think I'm going to go with Team World for this one as well. But let's not count out Team USA, especially when you've got Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, in your lineups. You just don't know what's going to happen. Exactly, and Kuzma. These are really great players. So we don't really have all of the details around All-Star Saturday night, the 3-point contest, the slam dunk competition, and the skills challenge. But we do know that that's one of the most fun parts of the NBA season.
And I know you love the 3-point contest.
Yeah, I do. You know what's grown on me over the years is the skills challenge. I always thought, oh gosh, it's like slalom through some stuff, pass the ball. But it's actually so much fun, especially when they do like a bigs versus smalls. Haven't the bigs won the recent one? They've done very well.
2 of the last 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
So you think they should bring back a big?
Well, let's see what they're going to do. I think the thing is that we don't know who the participants are as yet, but it's always fun. I think that's the thing, is that you'd be like, okay, fine, the guards are going to just run through this, look at their handles. But you see the bigs, they've got the fundamentals, they're doing their thing.
But anyone you would love to see in the skills challenge?
Doncic. I think Doncic is going to be all over this weekend. He's going to be involved in the skills challenge, and I think he'll win it. But I think, there's still hope. Okay, look, I'm not going to hope somebody gets injured, but there's still hope that he might make the All-Star game.
The All-Star game.
As a late addition. I don't think it's going to happen because there's been a lot of, vets and people who've been in the league for a while, and even the coaching staff say, look, wait your turn, young guy. You'll get there. And I think that a lot of fans will be like, look, he's there now. But what's a year? What's a season? Like, okay, fine, he didn't make it in his rookie year, but in his second season, he's definitely going to do it.
And the slam dunk competition, my personal favorite.
Oh, the dunk competition's going to be good.
It's going to be great. There's been a lot of impressive dunkers in the NBA this season.
But what's been great about that is that look at how they've also leaned on youth. In the past, it's always been like, okay, fine, let's look for the, some of the oldest guys. Exactly. But then when you let the young guys come out, like with Derrick Jones Jr., and I don't think he's participating because he's injured. But they come with such ingenuity, such creativity. You start thinking, man, where do they even practice these things?
In their spare time. Those youngsters have got no families, nothing. They got a lot of spare time.
Family, but no responsibilities is what you mean, right?
Absolutely. They don't have like school fees to go and find out.
Well, that you know of.
That I know of. They don't have to go to daddy's days or whatever. So they got a lot of time. But I think but me, opposed to what you're thinking, I'd love to see a vet in there.
I know you're pushing for Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
Yeah.
It could be your last dance.
And I'll tell you something.
Do something.
I'm not against Vince Carter being part of the slam dunk competition, because for me, the All-Star Weekend really is it's a fun activity. It's guys to go out there and have fun. And Vince Carter in the slam dunk competition would be great. But let's just also remember that Vince Carter might give it too much, and he could end his career there in that slam dunk competition.
There is that. but I'm not sure he won't be done ranking at Vinsanity levels.
Look,
he'll be there just for the show.
Look, you know what it's like when the young bucks are pushing you to do some stuff, and you be like, whoa, I'm feeling myself. Let's see what's going on. Like let's do a reverse 360, somersault.
I don't think he's there. Unless there's a trampoline. I don't think Vince is going in that direction.
If he is a participant, it would be really, really great to see.
Yeah.
But I think let's park that there. Let's wait till they tell us who's going to be in the thing, and then we'll have that on the next post-up podcast.
Okay, one last question.
Yeah.
3-point contest. Would you, A, love to see Steph Curry against Seth Curry or Steph Curry against Klay Thompson?
Well, look, Klay's already said I think he's come out and said he's not going to participate. He's not really keen. I mean, we've seen the Splash Brothers against each other a couple of times, and Klay's had the beating of Steph, I think 2 of the 3 times they've actually come up against each other. But it's nice to see that brotherly love, Seth versus Steph. They're both from North Carolina, so they're hometown heroes. But let's also remember that this should be about some of the best shooters in the league. And some of the guys whose names have been left out have been some of the best shooters in the NBA. So I hope that the guys get the mix right. It's got to be about guys who are shooting the 3-ball. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Jingling Joe Ingles,
Buddy Hield?
Yeah, exactly.
So he's been getting that 3. He's been getting that 3. But anyway, like we said, we don't yet have the names. We don't yet have the confirmations. But
let's see.
We're just speculating. I'd love to see certain people. Like if brother went up against brother in a 3-point contest, that would be fantastic.
It would be,
especially if Seth won.
Well, then be like, right, you beat me all these years, Steph. I'm gonna show you now.
From the playground to the main stage, from the backyard.
And that's it. You almost see Del Curry be like, no, I'm gonna enter as well.
Well, he can shoot in a suit.
You know what? In Charlotte,
yes.
In Charlotte, it's possible. It's possible. Okay, if you're listening, we gotta get Del Curry in on the 3-point contest.
That would be remarkable.
Okay, so we're like a curry off. And not even a cooking competition.
Carry-off.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the All-Star game itself. And what I love is looking at the 2 coaches. We now know who's going to be coaching Team LeBron, and that is Mike Malone of the Denver Nuggets. I think that's a fantastic thing to happen.
Cyrus, looking at how well the Nuggets have done this season so far, I think giving Mike Malone that stage is fantastic, and I think he'll work well with a captain like LeBron James.
Yeah.
Regardless of who he picks,
Exactly.
LeBron James is he's a guy I think who works well with good coaches, and I think Mike Malone is one of those good coaches, bordering on great in my books.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great pick. You made your regular season team do wonders.
No, you got to do it, and you earn it.
Yeah,
you earn it. That's what it is.
Why not coach the best player, arguably, on the planet at the moment, alongside whoever he's going to select?
He's lucked out, being in that Western Conference, and now LeBron's there, and the Nuggets having just made it to finish in that top spot, just in time for Malone to get that spot. I really like Mike Malone as the coach of Team LeBron. But it's all about the 2 Mikes, right?
Yeah.
Because Team Giannis is going to be coached by Mike Budenholzer. He's no stranger to the All-Star game. He's been here before as a coach. And I just, Budenholzer is doing some amazing things at the Bucks. And now he gets to coach his player at the All-Star weekend. I mean, that's
he's leader.
fantastic.
The guy he found leading the franchise, which is also doing pretty well on the Eastern Conference. So Nas might have said all he needs was 1 mic.
No, now we got 2.
But the All-Star's got 2 mics. The All-Star game's got 2 mics.
And I think what's great about it is that you've got 2 coaches who really try to coach the game the right way. And you can't be an All-Star game coach if your team's doing poorly. That's why these guys are there. Their teams are the best teams in the NBA at the moment in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. And I think that it's great to see. So let's look at who the starters are, who the reserves are, and really go through some of those things, because our starters we've already been through, right? Do you want to go through them?
You want to go through the starters, or we go?
Yeah, starters.
Look, starters. In
just
the Eastern Conference, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo, the captain of course.
Giannis.
Joel Embiid. Also, Cameroonian Joel Embiid, so he's got African roots. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
The ever efficient Kawhi Leonard. We've got Kyrie Irving as well from the Boston Celtics, and then Kemba Walker, the hometown boy from Charlotte,
those are the
North
starters
Carolina.
from Team Giannis.
From Team Giannis. Team LeBron, we got Okay, not Team Giannis. They're just the Eastern Conference.
No. Okay, fine. Obviously, those are the Eastern Conference starters. But I'm saying, Team Giannis he's going to start looking at some of those guys.
Absolutely.
So then you got LeBron James leading.
LeBron James leading the West. He's got Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Paul George, and James Harden.
Man, the scoring on that team is ridiculous.
If I was LeBron, I'd just say, okay, look, guys,
you guys
can I just take these guys and you can take the East guys and we'll see how this goes.
And I think that's what's great about it not being a conference matchup, because it would have been a little different. It would have been a bit difficult. But even those teams against each other would be fun.
Would be fun. Great,
really
fun.
fun.
So let's look at the reserves. So in the West, we got Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, great reserve to have the East.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, the man of the moment, of course.
All eyes on Davis.
Nikola Jokic, one of my favorite centers in the league right now.
He's so good.
Damian Lillard, one of my favorite point guards. Klay Thompson, where's jersey number 11? You know me and jersey number 11.
Yeah, you've been all about them 11s.
And Karl Anthony Towns.
Legend, second All-Star game. You are a hater. He is not soft. He's back there.
Let's not legend him.
He's back there. He's back there. The cat. The cat be climbing walls.
Okay, the cat man do.
Right, so our other reserves.
Other reserves from the East. Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons. I love that selection.
And he's also in the Rising Stars Challenge.
Nikola Vucevic. Very great player. Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards.
Love
Blake Griffin from the Pistons. Kyle Lowry from the Toronto Raptors. Victor Oladipo was injured just before the All-Star break. That is so sad. I really hate it when that happens.
We love Vic, and especially such a bad injury.
Absolutely.
But then his replacement, Deangelo Russell.
Deangelo Russell has been balling his socks off.
He really has.
And I think a lot of people underestimated him when he left Los Angeles, thinking, this guy's a bust. But do not judge a person as a bust before you see his true potential. And I think
also it's so soon.
I think you mentioned it early on when he moved, and you said maybe that's the best place for him to go because he'll be able to play a lot of minutes. He'll be given a lot more freedom than what he'd have gotten in LA. Remember, in LA, he was under the shadow of Kobe, and everybody was saying this is the next Kobe. You have to play like Kobe. You have to be the next Mamba, if you will.
Exactly.
But I think that was a lot of pressure on the young man, and I think going to Brooklyn could have been a better thing happen to him. Now he plays more minutes, he sees more of the spotlight, and there he is.
He's improved his game.
His ice is back in his veins.
Yeah, the more tattoos he gets, the better he plays. Apparently,
that could be a lie.
But even then, and we can't leave out the two additions that were announced in terms of the veterans, Dirk Nowitzki and Dwyane Wade, who've been added to the All-Star game.
Cyrus, for some reason, I was very happy. Let me tell you this. First of all, this could potentially be Dirk Nowitzki's final dance.
Yeah, and Dwyane Wade has said it.
No, Dwyane Wade, we know he's been saying it, and he in the first and second returns, he looked pretty good. That he might just be an all-star. But then again, when the final returns came through, obviously he didn't make it. So this being his last dance, it's great to give him that platform. And he's done a lot for the league. Yeah. He's won 3 chips for the Miami Heat. He's done a lot. This is a future Hall of Famer. Speaking of Hall of Famer, Dirk Nowitzki, one of the best European players in the league.
Ever play in the NBA.
He's very mum about the fact that this might be his last season.
He's been quiet. He must have some serious bills.
I might sneak in next season again. I'll see you, Vince Carter.
Well, the signing of Kristaps Porzingis, he might be like, whoa, we could actually just make this a whole European thing.
Situation.
Maybe I'll go for one more season. You never know.
You never know.
But this will be his last All-Star game.
Absolutely. Well, let's not say absolutely.
It'll be his last All-Star game. I don't see them picking him again next season.
Maybe the fans might. But anyway, this was fantastic, Cyrus, because it just goes to show, the All-Star weekend keeps evolving. And I think this might be a thing that might catch on, where you salute the the vets, and say, these two vets are All-Star worthy. They've been to the All-Star game so many times in their career. Let's give them one more go. A great send-off. They'll probably get a video or something played about their career or their appearances, and that just adds to the whole splendor.
Maybe Meek Mill will come up with a new song for them. He'll be performing.
Me and my vets.
So what do you think of the reserves, though? I mean, obviously, you're going to have the draft happening very, very soon, actually, 7th of Feb. And, I mean, that's a couple of days away.
Cyrus, to be honest, I love the reserves. I might go on talking smack about Karl Anthony Towns, but he has started stepping up ever since the departure of Jimmy Butler was finalized at the Timberwolves. He has become the leader, and I think he can take the Timberwolves' places. I mean, that's that was only one of my things.
He found himself again.
I was always yanking your chain because I know you like this player. But if you look at Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double, I mean, who can argue with that? LaMarcus Aldridge, one of the best centers in the game. They've had a sort of up and down
He's been
start.
playing a lot more power forward these days.
At the Spurs, ever since they changed the squad so much, but he's okay. Anthony Davis, I don't even have to say no more. Nikola Jokic, the Joker.
But this is the thing for me, without going through all of the listings, I mean, like, obviously the Joker is really somebody who I feel deserved to be there. He's been one of the reasons why the Nuggets have been so good this season. But when you look at some of the other reserves, is there anybody here who you thought, they're lucky to get in? And I mean, because a lot of people have been talking about that, especially guys from the Eastern Conference, where you're like, well...
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Chris Middleton, for me, I know he's a great player. He was here for the Africa game, but I would have expected them to maybe, if they were looking at the Bucks, maybe to select Eric Bledsoe, because I see him to be more of an entertaining player. But look, the fans spoke and the coaches spoke.
But it's also position, right? Because Middleton's one of the better forwards in the Eastern Conference, and I mean, the Bucks are doing so well. It's tough to look past the guys who are really doing it.
And my second one would have to be Ben Simmons. I know he's a great player, but to me, I would have thought that spot belonged more to Jimmy Butler. But maybe he's his own worst enemy with all the drama he's had in the regular season. They were like, okay, so you want to be difficult, so we'll let you rest out the All-Star weekend. But if you're looking at the 76ers, I'd have gone with Jimmy Butler.
And I must admit, though, that I do see your point, though I do feel Ben Simmons is the right pick. His triple doubles really, in a Russell Westbrook kind of way. You look at how well he plays, and when he gets a triple double, the team tends to do quite well. I think that's the thing about Ben Simmons. Whereas with Westbrook, he'll get a triple double, but the team don't necessarily win. Mind you, that could also be a conference issue and what have you. But I do think that Simmons, I feel he deserves to be there. Much like I think that Nikola Vucevic deserves to be there. I know the one guy that you gave me a little bit of stick about when I mentioned he was going to be an All-Star is Blake Griffin.
Yes.
And that you thought you'd be surprised if he got selected. I said there is no ways Blake is missing out. And lo and behold, it came to pass. Blake Griffin is back in the All-Star game.
Look, it's funny. In my mind, I thought the days of Chris Paul and Blake Griffin being All-Stars have come and gone. And maybe it's the energy, he's renewed energy at the Pistons, and people are looking at him like, okay, maybe Lob City still lives.
But it's not just that, because when you look at how he's changed his game a little bit in Detroit, and working with Dwayne Casey, he's actually got a three-point shot, and it actually looks good. He's playing very well on defense, playing very well on offense. The Pistons aren't, blazing up the charts in the Eastern Conference.
Not really.
But I think everybody who watches the Pistons knows that it's also because they're hampered by the squad that they have. They don't necessarily have too many All-Stars. Blake really is the one. I think it's surprising because, you've got a Andre Drummond who misses out on the All-Star game. And I think Blake has been the best team in the Pistons lineup.
The Pistons need a better guard. That's for another podcast.
That's another podcast. I totally agree with you. They trade deadlines coming up who you never know. You never know.
They need a better guard and a backup for him.
I think more efficient players. Having said that, when you look at how the players rate some of the Pistons players, I think the players in the NBA really like the likes of Reggie Bullock and Reggie Jackson. So, it's not to say they don't have the guys. Perhaps they just need to start delivering more. And perhaps that's where Dwayne Casey can do some hard work. Let's talk about snubs.
Yes, that's one of my
favorite
topics.
Let's talk about snubs. I know you
I love drama. I'm the drama king.
If somebody's been snubbed for you, huh?
Yes. I am the drama king.
So the biggest snubs for you. Let's go through this list. Who do you think is the biggest snub for the NBA All-Star game?
Biggest snub. One of the biggest snubs for me is a big man that's been doing well in Utah. Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert.
I know the All-Star weekend is not very defensively focused.
Yeah.
But still, Rudy Gobert has been doing enough offensively and defensively to deserve a spot. And to me, he's one of the biggest snubs there.
I agree with you there. And look, crying aside or whatever I tend to feel people get emotional about this kind of stuff. I've got no issue with him shedding a couple of tears, especially out of the frustration of playing so damn hard and not getting the rewards. Because people have got to see what he's putting in there. He's the Defensive Player of the Year, goodness sakes.
That was one of my points. How do you become the Defensive Player of the Year and then you don't see All-Star?
And so this is where, you know, there are definite problems. It could also be that he's hampered by the fact that he plays in the Western Conference. And so, you know, that he has to start standing out ahead of other players who are getting a lot more spotlight, especially also being in Utah. But having said that, he should have been there. I think the other big one for me was obviously Doncic. I mean, I think the thing with Doncic is it almost seems like a young fellow, take your seat, your time will come. But he's done so much that he deserves to be an All-Star.
Look, it's also that thing, like you said, he's young. He's got all the opportunities to be an All-Star. Let's face facts. He's been balling remarkably.
Incredible play.
Putting up incredible performances. But, you know, his time will come to shine. I mean, he has shone as a rookie. He'll probably will shine in the Rising Stars Challenge. So, you know, I don't think he's that phased. I mean, I saw a video which they claimed was him when he was told that he's not making it to the All-Star game. He was very nonchalant about it, like, okay, it's just this time.
He is, what, 19?
Yeah, you know, I'll be back. I'm not even 20 yet. I'm still a teenager.
Exactly.
You know.
And so it's that kind of stuff. I think that Doncic is a snub, but there are other snubs who could probably feel more aggrieved. The likes of which Devin Booker falls into that category for me.
Devin Booker. I mean, like,
what more does he have to do?
I was about to say, hasn't he scored how many points in a game? 80?
He was way up there. Wasn't he 60-something?
Yeah, 60. If you scored more than 60 points and you're leading, okay, it's a struggling franchise, but it's going through a rebuild stage. But still, you cannot ignore the presence of Devin Booker.
I agree with you.
He's a great shooting guard. He just needs a great point guard to go with some of the pieces he's got at his squad. But I agree with you. Definite snub. Another snub from Utah for me was Spider. Donovan Mitchell. He even got his own sneaker this season, Cyrus. His own sneaker. How do you not
I know that's a big deal for you.
How do you have him not showcase his new sneaker
at All-Star?
At All-Star. They haven't even launched the new Giannis sneaker. He's got a sneaker before Giannis.
And this is the thing. But I think the thing about it, though, is that it comes back to the fact that they play for the Jazz. They're not a fancy team. I don't think many people are watching enough Jazz games. Mitchell hasn't been at his sensational best, but it is a snub. He is still young, so there's plenty time for him to get more All-Star appearances in the future. But I think Mitchell is a bit of a snub. And I mean, like, okay, fine. If sneakers is your mode of judging, then yes, he's definitely been snubbed.
No, he's been playing well, plus he got his own sneaker. He is a star. Cyrus, I'll ask you another one. CJ McCollum of the Portland
Trailblazers. I just don't understand. I love CJ. I think he's been fantastic. The Portland Trailblazers...
That's a good game alum, if I might mention.
Yeah, no. Okay. I had a couple of interactions with CJ. An amazing guy. An amazing guy. And what a player on the court. Sometimes a little inconsistent, but when you look at where the Blazers are in the Western Conference, and this is a team that really shouldn't be pushing so high up in the standings, it's down to Dame, who is an All-Star, and CJ, who isn't. And I think this is where it's got to be remedied. CJ McCollum's got to get more looks. Tobias Harris, for me, is somebody who...
people who've been to Africa.
Exactly.
Tobias Harris.
And should have been an All-Star. I think perhaps he burned really bright at the beginning of the season, and as the season's worn on, the Clippers have gotten a little tired, and Tobias Harris hasn't been lighting it up as he did before, but he deserves to be there.
Cyrus, I'm going to throw you one here.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you one here as we talk about snubs. This could be our last snubs question before we call it afternoon, evening, morning.
All of the things. Yeah, go for it.
Derrick Rose.
Not a snub for me.
Why not a snub for you?
The thing for me about it is that I think Derrick Rose is probably going to be the 6th man of the year. But then you don't hear us calling for Lou Williams as an All-Star.
I was about to say, Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams are still balling.
Yeah. And this is my point, though, in the sense that I think Derrick Rose is going to be in the conversation for 6th man of the year. I don't think he's been that good that he's going to be an All-Star, considering all the other guys that have A, been snubbed, and B, been chosen.
But Cyrus, this is a man who was written off.
Oh, so you're going to go there.
He's the comeback
movie trailer.
He's the comeback
He was written off.
Absolutely.
Nobody believed in him.
When he left the Bulls and wound up at the Cavs, everybody thought, look, this guy's gone. And remember, we had spoken about him in previous podcasts about maybe it being a mental thing, that more of a mental thing than a physical thing. He tried his skills at the Cavs, didn't work. He went to New York. It didn't work. People are just like, oh my word, he better just pack up his sneaker and go sign off with Adidas to just be a model or something.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, he winds up in Minnesota. And I don't know what happened. It could have been Jimmy Butler. It could have been Karl Anthony Towns.
It could have been the coach.
Could have been the coach. Could have been Andrew Wiggins. I don't know.
It's him. And I think Derrick Rose has put the work in, and it's showing. But I think the thing for me about Derrick Rose is, I know, and like I said, this is a sentiment business. Sometimes we're happy to see the Dirk Nowitzkis and the Dwyane Wades getting a look in at All-Star because it is, a glorified showpiece. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't done enough to unseat any of the guys ahead of him. If we look at guards in the Western Conference right now, who would he get in ahead of that's in the All-Star game right now?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And that's my point. So if we're going on sentiment alone, then maybe he'd be like a reserve.
A reserve. Maybe they should bring that in because, insofar as, I wouldn't put him past Lillard. Obviously, I wouldn't put him past Steph. I wouldn't, I wouldn't put him past James Harden.
Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook, no.
So he's done really well and he's played really well, but he is not at those other guys' level. And I think that's where you got to look at it in terms of maybe if he played in the East,
I was about to ask,
played well in the East.
Had he played at that level, maybe at the Chicago Bulls?
Let's put it this way.
Would you think?
I still don't think he would have been there ahead of Bradley Beal. This is the thing for me, ahead of like even a Kyle Lowry or Victor Oladipo. I don't know if he's had those kinds of performances.
Yeah.
But let's end the podcast with a little bit of a draft.
Oh Lord!
And I don't mean a drink. I mean the mock draft. We're going to be picking the players for the All-Star game. This is the thing though, Kaunda. You can't just be, resting on your laurels, falling asleep over there. I'm going to start asking you those hard questions.
Let's do this.
You are LeBron James. I am Giannis Antetokounmpo. We now know who the starters are. We know who the reserves are. Let's pick our players.
Okay.
You get to pick first.
I am LeBron James.
You're LeBron James.
For shooting's sake, I'm getting myself some Steph Curry.
So Steph Curry for you?
Yes.
Okay. Right. I have to counter your shooter with my own shooter. I'm going with James Harden.
You got James Harden. I'm going to get a man that can do almost everything. I'll get me some Kevin Durant.
KD for you. Okay, I like KD. I'm Giannis. I'm thinking, fine, maybe what we need here is somebody to match that height. I'm going with Joel Embiid. I'm saying, Joel Embiid, you are on Team Giannis. Come on, buddy. Let's do this thing.
And I'm thinking, Giannis, you need to go green, if you know what I mean. So I'm going with Kyrie Irving of the Boston Celtics.
You have got some guard action in that spot. Yeah. I like Kyrie. I'm like, okay, fine, Kyrie, I get you. But maybe what we need in order to win this is a little bit more defense. Maybe two-way play. Kawhi Leonard, you're on my team, buddy.
I see you, Kawhi, but I am going to Oklahoma City and I'm picking up some Paul George in my squad.
Okay, we've almost picked exactly the players in the conferences that they've been in because I'm going to go with Kemba Walker and Kemba's going to be that guy for me. I'm like, okay, Kemba, you are on my team. This is Team Giannis. Our starters, Giannis, me, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, Kemba Walker, James Harden. For you, Team LeBron, you got Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Paul George, Kyrie Irving. That's a heck of a team. I get to pick first in the reserves though. This is where it gets a little tricky because I'm like, okay, we've got some good guard action there. I think James Harden, Kemba Walker. I think I'm gonna go with Anthony Davis.
You are going with Anthony Davis. I hoped you wouldn't. But hey.
I mean, we've got, the Greek freak and AD. This could be a sign of things to come in Milwaukee. But
as soon as though you're going for size, I've got enough firepower in my backcourt. So I'm going to go with the Joker, Nikola Jokic.
Okay, I like that as a pick. Man, this is a pretty strong team. Okay, Nikola Jokic, you got him. I think it might be time. What time you say? Dame time, I say. I think I'm going to go with Damian Lillard. I like the way this young man plays. Dame, you're on my team.
I need some explosiveness on my squad right now in the backcourt. So I'm going to go with my man, Russell Westbrook.
Okay, there we go. I mean, I like Russ. Russ is quick. He can do a lot of stuff. I'm going to carry on picking here. And, if there's one thing that we love in games like this, it's got to be shooting.
Oh, Lord.
It's got to be shooting, right?
no,
it's got to be 3-point shooting. I'm splitting the Splash Brothers. I am taking Klay Thompson.
I was hoping you wouldn't see him there.
Oh,
I was trying to hide him in the
hidden. You know, in the mines. No, I got Klay.
I need some youth on my side.
Okay.
I'm reaching in.
Yeah.
76ers. Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons for you. Okay. Ben Simmons. That's a nice pick. I mean, we've got a lot of big guys here. And, you know, Giannis said that he would do this. So I'm going to go with Giannis's wishes. I'm going to pick his teammate, Chris Middleton. Middleton's going to be on Team Giannis, coached by our Bucks coach, Mike Budenholzer.
I need a little bit more height, and I've swallowed my pride here. Carl Anthony Towns,
Carl
how you
Anthony
doing?
Towns.
Carl Anthony
you
Towns,
took all
how you
that
doing?
trash, but now you're gonna take Cat on board. That's all good. You can take Carl Anthony Towns. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, I believe that some men can fly.
Hola.
Some men can fly, and they're really big guys too, right? So I'm gonna go with Blake Griffin. Blake, for some of that inside-outside game, you know, he can take it to you. He can take it strong. He can also shoot from outside. That's me. Come on, Blake.
I got one Nikola, I'm going to get another one.
Oh,
Nikola Vucevic. So I got two
okay.
Nikolas.
Oh, man, there's some big guys on your team here. You know, some big guys on your team. Okay, I'm looking at my team. Maybe I need another big... or I'm going to just change it up. Get Real Deal Beal. Bradley Beal is coming to Team Giannis.
Well, look, I need some ice. It's getting kind of warm in here.
Uh-huh.
Ice in the vein, Deangelo Russell.
Deangelo Russell. Okay. Deangelo Russell going to Team LeBron. Well, I'll give you Deangelo Russell. And I think what I want to do is really, let's just get somebody who can shoot, who can pass, who can play the game the right way. Kyle Lowry, come on, welcome to Team Giannis.
And I think that's us.
That just leaves you with one more player, LaMarcus Aldridge.
I got Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm going big.
Yeah, you got real big.
Wow, we are like the Monstars. This is Space Jam at All-Star.
Okay, so let's run through our mock draft here. Team LeBron, go through your picks. So you got LeBron James.
Yep.
Steph Curry.
Yes. Kevin Durant. Paul George.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Russell, triple-double Westbrook. LaMarcus Aldridge. Nikola Jokic. Carl Anthony Towns. Ben Simmons. Nikola Vucevic. And Deangelo Russell.
Well, these are my team for Team Giannis. We've got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, Kemba Walker, James Harden, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, Chris Middleton, Bradley Beal, Blake Griffin, and Kyle Lowry.
Cyrus, I want us to hold on to these lists. I want to see what happens Friday night.
Oh,
I want to see how similar
these teams are after they've been. But before we even do that, we got to pick our vets.
All right.
Right? The
additions.
additions.
I'm picking first.
Yeah.
You know, I've already got a lot of height on my side.
Yeah. And if you're a LeBron, there's only one choice for you.
Yeah, so if I'm LeBron and we've been drinking wine together and been on that banana boat together, I'm like, yo, Dwyane, how's it hanging?
There we go. So Dwyane Wade, he's going to be on Team LeBron, which means Dirk Nowitzki, he's on Team Giannis. I love that European connection. We are doing it big. Let's actually see how close we get to the teams when they're announced. So that's Friday morning for us here in Central African time.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be fantastic, Cyrus, and I love the fact that they're televising the draft.
It's going to be so good.
I know some people are like, oh, it might bring out feelings, X, Y, and Z, but I think it's going to be fantastic.
Let's leave people to their fields. That's it for the Post Up Podcast this week. We hope you enjoyed our All-Star special where we had our full draft. We hope to hear from you. Hit us up on social.
Yeah, comment below.
Exactly, we need your comments. At Post Up Podcast on Instagram and on Twitter. At Post Up Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. We should have some really good and fantastic announcements coming up for you in the next podcast. But until then, good to have you on board.
Keep enjoying the game of basketball. We'll see you soon.
Later.